Today, it's me, Anders, that is the consultant director of Monitor ERP in Malaysia, that will introduce you to the subject. And I have been working with Monitor since 1998, both as a user and also within different positions in Monitor. Monitor started 40 years ago by Åke Persson. He was an entrepreneur and production engineer that already in the late 70s saw the importance of using data from the shop floor to control the manufacturing companies. Today, Monitor is a company with over 300 employees, and our headquarters is located in Hudiksvall, Sweden. In Sweden, we have roughly 40% of the market share around manufacturing SMEs. Since 2013, we have our headquarters for Southeast Asia in Penang, where we are currently sitting, and we have 42 employees within sales, consulting, development, and support. We develop and deliver software and services that is 100% focused on manufacturing industries. Our product, Monitor G5, cover all areas a manufacturing company can need. So let's start to look at something that I often see when I meet our customers. They claim that their master plan looks very good, that their requests from their customers should be able to met. But the result later will be that they have difficulties to meet the promised delivery date. What could be the reason for that? For sure, there are many reasons. We can have problems with our supply chain, our stock balances may not be correct, and we don't get the correct indications when we need to purchase material. This lack of material can for sure give us problem in our planning. But a very common reason is that we think that we have more capacity than we actually have. We need to adjust, or we configure our work center capacity based on a feeling, not on a fact. We also tend to not update the capacity whenever actual circumstances changes. This leads to a planning situation that we sometimes refer to as a firefight planning. We need to adjust, prioritize, change batch sizes very frequent in order to meet our customers' wished delivery date. And this leads to more setup time, lower OEE, and low delivery performance. If we take a look on our capacity planning, and for today assume that our stock balance currently is correct, and that our supplier will be able to deliver what we request through our purchase orders. What is a common issue and pattern that we often see when we analyze capacity-related problems? Let's picturize a scenario on a CNC metal manufacturing company and focus on their multi-purpose machine that they have invested for several million ringgits in that machine. This particular machine operates 12 hours shift per day, and the factory is open Monday to Friday. That gives us an available capacity of 60 hours per week. Most companies know that they could not plan with the capacity of 60 hours per week. It's a well-known fact that we have machine maintenance, machine breakdown, rework orders, and other waste that will affect our actual capacity. This is often expressed as a percent of my gross capacity, also known as an availability factor. This availability factor is also too often just a value that we base on our feelings rather than known facts. So what we see in the planning parameter for a work center is that we have a basic time for 12 hours, an efficiency factor of 80%. That gives us a capacity of 48 hours per week. My experience is that 80% is more what we wish for rather than the actual value. Further, we need to make sure that our BOM and routing is correct. We need to make sure that our setup and unit time is correct. Often here we see that the given cycle time is based on a best case scenario rather than on reality and facts. How do we on our company works to follow up on operational data? Do we actively work on given feedback from post calculation or operators to adjust our planned cycle time? Or do we let the first given value remain for the whole life cycle of that part? So what tools is normally available to take care of this situation? And how does it often look like when we review how company works with those questions? How do we do and how can we measuring utilization and cycle time? What we see is the most common way could be described like this. Upon finishing on a manufacturing order, operator write down the output, good and bad quantity, and the use time on that for that order on a job order document. This document is later passed down to a production admin, whose task is to read that oily, dirty paper with not always very good handwriting on, and the key in that result to manufacturing execution system. With this data in our MES, we can do a post calculation to control what efficiency we have on that specific order, and if we met the planned cycle time or not. But the level of quality that we get is maybe not the very best. This information, I would say, is not accurate enough. This is based on the individual worker's ID on when he start and stop the job. There is not exact start and stop time recorders. This information seldom contains any information about why did we not meet our target value. Operators are not in a situation where they in an easy way can record down information on the various stops that they had during the work. The way of doing reporting can give us an idea how much uptime we have and how much time the machine is not spinning. But we do not get any information about why the machine has been idle. This information is crucial for us when we should decide on the availability factor that we talked about before. Reporting this way also gives us a delay in the information sharing to other departments. Manual recording of the data the day after may lead to that we miss to deliver an order to our customer, even though product is ready and available to be shipped. So what benefits can we gain from having a fully integrated system with connected machines? With Monitor wording, this means using Monitor ERP with the machine integration. When using Monitor G5 and MI, you will have a full transparency on what you plan to do, a much better possibility to analyze your output. We will also get raw data that describes the reason for why we didn't reach our planned utilizations of 80% of the machines, so that we know where to invest our resources to increase our utilizations of the machines. By connecting our machine to our ERP system, we create the bridge between planners and operators. Planners prioritize and check availability for raw material and create a detailed manufacturing order sequence for the machines. This will automatically be synced to the operator's screen so that the operator knows exactly what to be done next. This information could contain specific operation instructions, tool information, or drawing needed to complete the job. No need to print and file several documents that have a tendency to disappear on a busy workshop. We also get live output data of produced quantity, good and bad, and monitoring of which machines that are running right now and what machines that are not operating. This information is available for planners instantly, not with a delay of 10 to 15 hours. Since stock balance is also updated, our logistic team have full control on what order they can deliver or not. We will know if we currently operating according to planned cycle time or not. If we are not meeting our planned cycle time, that could be an indication on that we get a delay. It can also be a signal to a production engineer to assist to rectify the issue that caused the lower tempo in the machine. Earlier I mentioned transparency. And what could be more transparent for a production manager to have access to a dashboard in his handphone that's to see the current operation in his workshop, which machine is running and on pace, which machine is not operating, and what is the reason for that. Since our operator immediately can give feedback why a machine is not running, this is information also available instantly for whomever that needs to see it. For certain industry where we have operators controlling multiple machines, for example, a plastic injection molding department, it could be very valuable to know how long time it takes from a machine stops to someone's attend the machine and sort out the problem. If we have long waiting time, this could be an indicator that we have less manpower, that we need more manpower on that department. To have an expensive machine not running cost a lot, but have another operator may not be that expensive. Easy calculations to do. How many hours of unattended machine breakdown do we have? And the cost occurred compared to another labor cost. Collection of accurate data will give us more accurate planning, and as a result of that, we will get a better delivery reliability and a much happier customer. With that introduction a little bit to the subject, I would like to switch over and we take a look in Monitor G5 and Monitor MI, how this could look. How does it look in the workshop? So this is a terminal that is located out at the machine sites. Here is my 4 machines. I have my CNC machines here. I also have an old stamping machine. To run MI, you do not need to have a fancy CNC machine with a lot of new technical or new techy stuff inside. It is perfectly fine to run an old stamping machine, or it could be an assembly department where you just have a push button on the table that every time one piece are finished, you push that push button. So MI can be used in many applications. It is not, in this case here we have 4 modern Mazak machines, CNC machine, but it could literally be any kind of machines where we can tap a signal or an indication on when one piece is done or not. So if I look at my plan here, I can see now I look at this is our machine that we just looked into. And here is our order, Demo-10. And we see that is prioritized. I chose that job as an operator. Currently, you can see that the machine is stopped and waiting for a job. So it was free, so we can push in a job immediately in the machine. So I mark my job, I press load work. And by doing that, my system automatically put this job into an yellow-orange mode here, which is setup time. So as soon as I load the job into the machine, in this case, I have configured the system to start measuring the setup time. So now I will know how many minutes, hours I spend on to set up this CNC machine before I start producing products from. We can also see that in this machine is currently not running. And that is because of material shortages. So every machine can be reviewed like this. This could also be displayed in what we call a dashboard. So here is another way of presenting the same data. We can see here is the first machine that is currently running. We can see the manufacturing order number. We have a progress bar that visualizes how much of the job we have done. We can see what part number currently running in the machine. How long have we been working with the job? So 1.5 hours. What is the current OEE for that machine? And below here we can see some indication on that the OEE is a little bit low. We see that the planned cycle time is 34 hours or 34 seconds, but the current pace we are running is 37.8. So we are a little bit behind schedule here, and that reflects in our OEE. We can see here our machine that we just loaded with a new job. That is current on the setup. We can see here that this machine has stopped. It's not green. The color is color-coded depending on what stop reason we have. And in this case, this machine waiting for material. The stamping machine is running, but very low. You can see 2 seconds, but they run on 35 seconds. And we can also see on this machine here that it's red, which indicates that it's not operating, and there is a flashing warning symbol here. That means that no one have attended that machine and start figuring out what is the reason that the machine has stopped. You can see here that currently the machine have been waiting for assistance for 38 minutes. And that's a quite big waste, I would say. To scroll down a little bit, I can see the current OEE for respective machine and the order that is running in the machine. And at the bottom here, I can see a Gantt chart what has happened in my machine over the latest 24 hours. So we can see that we have the night shift here, we are not working, but this machine is quite okay, but we can see that our efficiency on the other 3 machines here is not very good. So let's go back to the MI terminal and see what's happened when we attend this machine. You can see the same flashing symbol here as well. I click on that machine, and then it says, click to report arrival. And that is for me to announce that I am here. And now I can give a reason to why the machine have stopped, or in this case, most likely I don't know because I haven't started investigate yet. So I choose to acknowledge that later. So I just tell the system I'm here, and now I'm investigating what it is happening in this machine. And when I have solved the problem and the machine restarts again, we get the green signal from the machine, and I can use this button here to declare, okay, we have a 40-minute stop. And what was the reason for that stop? I have grouped my different stop reasons here between manpowers, machine, material, and some other stops. In this case, we had an tool change that was needed to do. There was one of the tools in the CNC machine that was broken, and I needed to change it. And I save. So now we have the stamping machine is running, our CNC number 4 is running, number 1 is running, but this one still is some issues with, they're waiting for material, and this guy is still doing some setup. So when they are done with the setup, we can click on this button here on the upper side, and I end the setup, and then the machine restarts, and now the machine will start producing pieces, and that we will see here. We can see that on the reported quantity here. We can see that our CNC machine number 3, they seems to have got the material. So we need to acknowledge this stop that they have had. And was maybe something with the material there. They have material not available. So all this is directly reflecting here in my dashboard. And those dashboards could be on a TV screen that you have in your workshop. It could be on a computer for a production for the planners. It is no restricted to any licenses. You can have, this is just a web page that you can configure yourself. And with the monitor system, you will get many different kind of widgets that shows the same information in a couple of different ways. And those dashboards, you configure how you want to see them in your workshop. It is also possible to see them on a handphone. So you remember maybe I talked about my production manager that wake up in the morning and he wants to have transparency. The first thing he do in the morning hours when he wake up, he wants to see what is the status of my machines. And this morning seems to be a very happy morning for the guy, because he has all green lights on his 4 machines here. But if we stop one of the machines, it will instantly come up as a warning message for our production manager there when he having his breakfast that there have been something in machine number 2. So this one is currently stopped. If we switch back to our monitor client and look at the same order there, we can see that the reported quantity had been feedbacked. We can see that currently the status is named standby, which is an indicator that currently the machine is not operating. So when the machines restart, we will get another signal both in our dashboard can see now our production manager is a little bit more happy having his morning coffee, and the planner can also see that the job is running. It's in progress. Sometimes it happens that we have some issues in our machine, so we need to report react. That is something that the operator can do immediately here in our MI terminal. So if we look at our order here, we can see now we have done 7 pieces. We can go in on this button here to click and report react. Either on my current job, I have done 2 pieces and this is some rework needs to be done. I can write the comment here if I want, but as you also can see, I can report reaction on historical orders as well. If I discover I do some final testing when I have loaded the next job in the machine and I discover some react, I have the possibility to report the react also on already finalized orders. This react, send this guy on a meeting. The react quantity and the comment from the react quantity is also reported directly into monitor. So here we can see in manufacturing order info that there is 8 pieces, that is okay. 2 have been reacted. And if I look in my log here, I can see and read my comments or the reasons for the react. So it's very transparent. The information that is given from the operator is immediately transferred into the ERP system. So finally, I would like to say thank you to all of you that have been listening. And if you have any queries, questions, do not hesitate to contact us on Monitor and we will explain further. So thank you very much and hope to see you all back